Hello and welcome to Ensemble Conversations with me, Mark Kilmurry. This morning I'm joined by the wonderful actor, Glenn Hazeldine. Glenn, hello, how are you?
I'm all right. Nice to see you.
You too. Great to see you and thank you for talking to us. Glenn, I'm just wondering how isolation's treating you. I know you're at work and you're busy, but
Oh, yeah.
how's it been for you?
Look, I think like everybody, it's been a very strange time. I've been fortunate in that I've been able to continue working. I work part-time for the Sydney Theatre Company, so I've been in the office pretty much all through the isolation. So it's been good for me because I live alone, or I have a very old 20-year-old cat. And so for me, it's kind of been a good reason to get out of the house and not be too. I'm not very good, I think, left alone for too long. So luckily, I've been working.
Yes, that's great. And you were saying earlier you're doing a philanthropy stream there at the Sydney Theatre Company, and you're actually talking to a lot of people who buy tickets to go to the theatre. And
It's a brilliant job. The job is to, for me, primarily is to contact people who have been generous enough to either donate tickets to the company or who have donated money. So my job really is to spend hours on the phone thanking people for looking after the arts. And pretty much every person I speak with says that they're just worried about everybody, worried about all the artists and technicians and actors who are going through this great uncertainty. It's been
there's
quite uplifting.
it is uplifting. There's a love of theatre, and we working in the theatre at the Ensemble Theatre and the Sydney Theatre Company, Belvoir, all the theatres of Griffin. You feel that you're working in the theatre, and you don't forget, but you realise that you're part of that wider community, and that the theatre belongs to the community. It doesn't actually belong to you. You may work here, but it actually belongs to the community, which is really uplifting.
It is. It is. And so many of these people, of course, when I speak with them, so many of them are patrons of the ensemble or Belvoir. So when they donate money to a theatre company, I'm almost certain it's not just the company that they're supporting, it's the sector. And, we've gone through a very strange little period here with, on a federal government level where artists like me have been told by the feds that what we do doesn't really matter, or it's not legitimate, or it's not a real profession, that we're not keepers, we're seekers. And I find that quite a challenging thing, given what we're all going through anyway in isolation and with this strange pandemic knocking at our door.
And the idea that the arts is crinkly masterwork paintings or stage or theatre, that the arts is television, film, music. It's everything that you love. It's everything that keeps
It's this,
society buoyant.
it's
Exactly.
our clothing, it's this,
Yeah.
And it sort of breaks my heart in a way that, given all of that there are 200,000 empty theatre seats across the country, and
Yeah.
we're missing, for artists, your life matters when you have an audience. That's when it all makes sense. And to be denied that and be told that what you do isn't legitimate is very upsetting.
Yes, when are you going to get a proper job? I remember being asked
Yeah.
all those years of starting out as an actor. But again, like you said, the positive side is that love from philanthropy and ticket buyers, and we've been overwhelmed with people donating tickets and or giving
Yeah.
credit, so we can keep going, we can keep buoyant, which
Isn't it
is
amazing? I mean, it's stunning that all these people, the stats are like 70, I know for the Griffin, it was something like 70% or more ticket holders donated them back rather than take the refund. And
rather than yeah.
I'm stunned by that. I find that so uplifting.
Glenn, you've been acting for a while now. Have you always wanted to be an actor? Was that something as a child that you dreamt about?
I think so. I never learned how to do anything else, and it puts me in a very precarious position, especially in this sort of time where you think, what else can I do? And I'm underqualified. I mean, I'm lucky that I can work in philanthropy. I love the relationship that punters, that theatre goers have with the art that we work in. So I'm quite lucky that I can parlay my experiences as an actor into that, in building those kinds of relationships with long-term devotees of the arts. But I never learned how to do anything else. I grew up in Newcastle, in Toronto West, actually, in a housing commission community, and it was it wasn't a great environment necessarily. And the only way I knew how to get out of that was to entertain people and to make them laugh, or it was all I knew how to do to be different and to feel special, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I never thought about doing anything else, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
My son asked me the other day, he said, "Dad, were you bullied at school?" And I said, "No, because I was the clown. So I would fall over and fall off the desk and land on my head, and people would laugh at me and think I was completely crazy. But that allowed me to survive." Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't deliberate. It wasn't sort of determined. But my best mate at school was Andrew Smith, who was probably the strongest kid in the school.
Right.
So I made him laugh enough for him to want to hang out with me a bit more, and nobody touched me. I was pretty safe.
Yeah, there's something to be said for the jester, isn't there? And the the fool. I think the fool's got it. Lear's fool. It's got it all down pat. Now, you're one of those actors I would think of as crossing the boundaries of different theatre companies. You pretty much work at all of the theatre companies, in the SDC, the Griffin Ensemble, but you've done all of them. Do you choose your roles? Do you think, I really want to do this role, or when you were starting out, was it like you do anything or everything? And now is it much more of an idea of, actually, I'm not sure I want to do that role, and I'll do that, and I can bide my time?
Look, to be honest, absolutely honest about it, I've never been in a position to say no to any job, and I don't know that I've ever been able to put something forward and get the job because I wanted to play that role. I'm just not that. I'm not really that sort of an actor. I'm not famous, and I don't have any currency. I've just been lucky to have been a jobbing actor who wanted to work in theatre. I never really wanted to work in television or film. It's not. I mean, this COVID-19 experience has been very odd because I've spent a lot of time on Zoom or chats like this where I can see myself.
Yes.
And I don't enjoy it. I don't have mirrors in my house, so I prefer theatre so that it happens and then it's gone and it lives. Your experience is a big chunk of it is memory, that your memory of it, and I quite like that. And I've been very lucky and privileged to have had a reasonably good run working in theatre. But it's really just taking whatever job comes up.
I remember you telling me one of your favourite experiences was lying in a trench with Judy Davis on stage at the STC and thinking, I'm lying in a trench with Judy Davis. It's those moments, I think, too, which are very special.
It was bizarre. We did this play called Victory in the Wall 1, and I was frightened of her. She's my favourite actor, and was at the time. Before I had even met her, she was my favourite actor. And so I would lie like this close to her under the stage, not knowing what to talk about.
Yeah. It's those wonderful moments.
Yeah, she was brilliant. She used to look at we could see the shoes there was a row of patrons that we could look straight out from under the stage at their feet. And she would tell me about each person based on their footwear and their toenails. And she would describe them to me so that when we got on stage, I would look at them and I'd think, she's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's that person.
What they were going to look like. And it was brilliant.
It was a fantastic production too. I love that production. You've acted at 16 plus plays at the Ensemble Theatre over the years, and some repeats, so more actually in the space. What is it about the ensemble that you enjoy?
Look, I'm sure you've asked this question of other people, I know, and I have to say the same thing. It's a theatre where the relationship with the audience is a really, really, holy moly. That's a wig.
There you go.
I would do the second act without the wig because it's that time. I love the relationship that you have with the audience, and there's nowhere to hide on that stage. It may feel to some people to be a small and compromised space, but I love it. I love that, you can do, like, if you've got your back to that whole bank, they're seeing a version of the play through the body language, but also by watching the people on the other side, they getting an experience through those people of what's happening, in from behind my back.
Yes.
And the response that you get from that space is immediate. So things move fast. It's a great place for, say, the Williamsons. There's no surprise that those Williamson plays do exceptionally well at the ensemble, because the feedback is immediate. You can move so fast, and Williamson relies on that sort of muscularity and pace. So I've been lucky enough to be in a number of Williamsons there. This is View from the Bridge.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Can you still pick up a chair?
I think I can, although I had a motorbike accident.
Oh, you did. You did.
I've bugged my shoulder, so I don't.
You better not. You better not do it. Yes, David Williamson, I was going to ask you, that is something you've done a lot, and David openly says you're one of his favourite actors in his work. What is it about David Williamson plays for you that works, do you think?
Look, I think he's one of the great technicians. I think he's in the world. I mean, he knows what an audience is listening for. So that even when you read a play, I can go through a play and go, oh yeah, that's the laugh, that's a laugh, that's a laugh. Yeah. But it's not until you put them in front of an audience that you learn what the play is. You learn where the laughs are, and they're not often where you thought they were. That's a rest, I love being in them, and I love the muscularity of them. I know, I've had a great deal of experience with them in the play, so I've got a pretty good instinct for how to play them. And it's really, you've got to avoid all those sort of naturalistic ums and ahs and little grace notes that actors often feel inclined to put in while they're thinking of what's happening next. But with Williamson, it doesn't work like that. You've got to just do what he's written, and you've got to be heard. It's got to be, with pace, and then it's just magic. Audiences love them. There's nothing. Some of my greatest pleasures as an actor have been in his works because of the relationship that he has with his audience. And when you get the machine's working, it just flies. It just flies. I love it.
Those huge belly laughs, and it still takes you by surprise. So in rehearsal, like you say, you think, okay, there's a laugh here, and something's going to happen here. Not sure about that, and then when you get in front of an audience, it's amazing. It's like this tsunami of laughter, and it's contagious.
Absolutely, and even often your inclination, if it's a new play, is to, in the rehearsal process, offer suggestions. You think, it might work better if we did this, David. And he'll say, look, can you just try it my way first? And he's right. Like he's so right. Yeah. And audiences, I think I wrote this in an article once before, that I think audiences have had more exposure to. There's my favourite, Georgie. I just love. Put Georgie and I in a play again. We want to work together again.
We'll do. I'll write it down. I can't remember what I was saying. Something about. Yeah, you wrote about it in a.
That's right. I wrote this thing about people being more exposed to Williamson than probably even they are to William Shakespeare's work. So audiences are primed. They go in savouring the battles that they're about to see unfold in front of them. So they're kind of listening. They're listening in a way that you've got. I always underestimate just how primed audiences are for Williamson's work.
There's a trust and there's a social interaction that you, as you say, is there before you even stepped into the theatre. There's that expectation. You can feel it. It's an event. It's like rock and roll theatre. There's people going there waiting and wanting to have a good time, and they always do.
And I think people criticise Williamson a little bit too often. He seems to be like fair game or something. People want to criticise him because of his success and because of that innate genius, but I'm in awe of him. I love it. I think that is that I don't know. He knows that if he puts that character against that character, there will be fireworks, and the audience are expecting that, so they're waiting for it. They anticipate it. It's really exciting.
It is a very, very tall poppy syndrome, I think it is, with David, because also you have those themes that run underneath. So those social comedies aren't just comedies. There's a lot in there to think about, and that's what I like about his work, that you go on thinking about it after you've left the theatre.
Yeah.
Glenn, I just want to ask you about also the Actors Benevolent Fund. At the Ensemble Theatre, I get phone calls, can we have a bucket collection for the actors? And it's always absolutely yes, of course. No one needs to ask. We love supporting the fund. Can you just talk a little bit about what the fund does and your involvement with it, particularly, I guess, after this time as well? It's something that's very important.
Look, you're absolutely right. There's not been, in my experience of the fund, a more important occasion for a fund like this. It was established in 1944, so it's been going for its considerable period of time. It's managed by predominantly performers or people from the arts. There's a committee of volunteers. I think we're about 12 at the moment. We're working very, very hard. As I say, we're all volunteers. Yep. The fund is there to help not just actors, but anybody who makes their livelihood from the entertainment industry. So writers and directors, choreographers, stage managers, technicians. At the moment, we're even supporting casting directors and agents and their staff, and because we're all in the same predicament. And what we do is we can provide financial relief for people. Obviously, we can't solve everybody's problems, but we can give a little bit of relief and relieve people of some of the anxieties and stresses and concerns and worries about where their next meal is coming from. And we've never been busier. I think in the last 6 months we've dispensed over $100,000 to our colleagues around the state, and there are benevolent funds in other states as well doing the same thing. I've been on the committee for 10 years. I'm the deputy chair now. I have been for about 7 years. And it's all I think about all day, all night.
Great. Yeah. For those who may be watching, how would you get in touch with the Actors Benevolent Fund? We've just put up the website there on the screen.
That's it.
But what do you have to, if you say you're in a circumstance that you're in a little bit of trouble with money or whatever it might be, how do they get involved and how do they get in touch with you?
Well, indeed, the website there, if you go to the website, the first thing you'll see on entering it is a COVID-19 emergency relief program that we're running. And you just simply fill out an application form. We can help out with food vouchers, or if you need money to keep your car on the road, or you're having trouble with your rent this month, we can offer some financial assistance. And it's designed to be a quick turnaround program so that people aren't caught up in endless queues and trying to prove to us that what they do matters. We don't resist helping people.
Yes.
And I have to say, I mean, Mark, the ensemble has been very supportive of the fund for longer than I've known about the fund. And Sandra Bates indeed is one of our true champions. And ensemble patrons have donated well over $100,000 over the year to the cause. And during this crisis, the response from the community has been breathtaking. And again, a bit like the philanthropy work, I'm privileged enough to be able to have those conversations with donors who just express to me how much they care about the art and artists. Similarly, working for the Benevolent Fund, I am seeing every day how generously the community embraces a fund like this. And it means that we have never been more ready to help people who need it. The problem that we have is that actors will often say, oh, look, somebody else needs it more than I do. We're so used to being unemployed and so used to managing that it's very difficult for performers and people from the arts to actually reach out and say, you know what, it's time, I do need something, I do need a little bit of help. And that's the big problem that we're having at the moment is trying to get the money to people, because everybody thinks that it's
okay. We're okay.
It's okay. I'll get through it.
We're a proud bunch, I think. And particularly in the arts, as you say, we're used to being unemployed. If you're a jobbing actor, that goes with the territory. And then putting your hand up is quite hard sometimes for some people, I think.
Yeah.
But that's what it's there for.
Yeah. It's absolutely what it's there for. And we're just trying to get the message out to people that you're not going to send the fund broke if you get some food vouchers and some help with your electricity bill this month. the SBW Foundation has been very generous. They gave us a huge whack of money because they felt that the Benevolent Fund was in the best position to get it into the hands who need it. And the SBW Foundation is absolutely on the side of the art, and they have been so. I'll cry. Sorry, I will get a little bit upset.
No, it's fantastic.
It's just a privilege to be on the inside of something like this and be aware of just how much support there is for artists.
Absolutely, and huge needed at this time in a huge amount, like you say. We put the website up there, that you can get in touch with for those who are watching, and we'll put that up again at the end of the program, and just to remind people where they can get in touch. Glenn, for you, I mean, it's funny to ask actors what they're thinking they might be doing in the future, because we're all in the same boat. But have you anything that you can talk about that's coming up for you, if and when our theatres open?
Look, no, I have nothing. I don't have anything in the pipeline. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a part-time job, as I say that hopefully will continue, but certainly no jobs coming up. It's a funny thing. Again, if I'll be candid, I'm not. I feel the longer that I'm not performing, the more I feel I should be devoting myself to, say, the Benevolent Fund and building the sort of relationships that I get, that I work on here at STC. I don't know. It's a funny thing. I don't know if it's frightening, but I think I feel like I've had a good run, and it's somebody else's turn to do the jobs that I was doing, in the theatre.
We would hate to lose you as a performer, Glenn. You are treasured. But I understand what you mean, because it gives you time to reflect, and sometimes gives you time to reflect on what's important to you. I hope we don't lose you as an actor. It would be terrible. But it is also about balance, I think. And this, whatever comes out of this awful thing, we, at least you hope that reflection will be used to the good for the world too. Just the way we're running the world, you hope that some politicians will look back on this and go, you know what, we need to do something about this, and let's pay nurses much more money than we have been paying them in the past, because they're the ones at the forefront of all of this. So, but it has been that time.
It is startling just how much of those kinds of deficiencies have been revealed by this crisis, and I agree with you. I don't think there's any excuse anymore for not taking care of those kinds of workers.
Yeah.
I was even surprised, Mark, to know that the unemployment benefits prior to all of this were $500 a fortnight, $550 a fortnight. I was like, who can live off that?
I know, that's right. It's shocking, really, isn't it? Thank you, Glenn. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's been absolutely fantastic to talk to you, and especially again about the Actors Benevolent Fund. That's the actorsbenevolentfund.org.au for those who want to get in touch, and that will just be put up again at the end of this little chat.
Brilliant.
Thank you. It'd be great to see you in a foyer soon and in a theatre soon. And we can.
I love everybody at the company, and a special mention. I know that anybody who's watching this will know what I mean when I say hello, Jim. I miss you, Jim. I hope you're well. And
indeed.
But to give my love to everybody at the company.
We will.
Doors open and I'll be there.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you very soon at an opening soon, and all the best with the job that you're doing now, and the Actors Benevolent Fund. They're fantastic, and it's great that you're doing that and continuing to be there for people who need you.
Thanks for the support that you and the ensemble have given the fund for years and years and years. And as I said, your patrons are amongst the most generous that I've experienced. It's so thanks for the plug. So anybody. If you know anybody who may need some help who works in the arts, they can come. They just go to the website. The address is there. We're also happy to take donations. If anybody wants to slip us a $5 or something, you can do that on the website as well.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you, Glenn. Lovely to talk to you and see you.
So great to
see you very soon.
See you, my friend.
Bye. That was wonderful, Glenn Hazeldine. And next week we'll be talking to some more special guests. Thank you for joining us this morning. Again, thank you for all your support, for your donations, and for your credit vouchers and keeping us here and buoyant. I can't wait to see you in a foyer, I must say. For now, bye-bye.